Okay, in this clip we're going to talk sort of the last step in this process of templating and using all that. We'd originally thought that we would create an automation, but it would seem that with automations you can't tie that to a particular date. So the way that we're going to work that is by using a recurring task. And there's some documentation on recurring tasks in the wiki. In this wiki, we're going to talk specifically about this newsletter task. And you'll note that, for just as a reference, this admin task also recycles on the monthly cadence of the newsletters that we send. So we'll just go ahead and go into this task. So I've created this using the template, which is in the previous video. And then you can see here that these dates are already set up. We don't really have to think about those because this is the first iteration of that task as a recurring task. So let me dive in on that. So that's just it's really just a very specific form of automation. It gets people confused. A lot of times people see a recurring task pop up and they continue to like close it, and they don't understand that like when that recycles itself, when you close it, a recurring task, depending on the way that it's configured, will tend to re-invoke itself. So it'll just appear again. People keep clicking and clicking. So it's important to understand like how this works. So we've created a recurring task that starts today, which is sort of dovetails with the day that the newsletter report is going to be sent out. And then we've got the end date, and the end date is about a week after the first Thursday of the month. So what that does is it allows us to drop that email, drop the second email on the following Tuesday. We'll just make that our schedule. And then by the time that we hit the 10th, or the 2 days after that second email drop, then we'll send that report, because that's all the data we really need is there. There might be a few stragglers that might click it open or whatever, but it's not really material. We can just move on to the next month. So in this recurring task, this recurs monthly, right, on the second Thursday. So you can choose that, like if you want it to be on the same day. If we wanted to be on the third of every month, we could do that, but that's not the way we're working. We're working on, we're confined by the week that we're dropping it. And then what'll happen is this task doesn't re-invoke itself when you close the old task. It just starts on the schedule. So on the second Thursday, that fresh task will pop up, and you'll just need to, change the month that's associated with it. So the next one will be November and December and so on. We set it to recur forever. Like I said, what we include in the task is, probably don't need to include the comments in the task. We'll let that reset. But the description, everything in the description fields carried over, the assignees, the watchers, which is you and I. Any tags, the subtasks, obviously we want that to be recycled. We're not including any attachments or comments to attachments. We don't have any custom fields, so it doesn't matter. We don't have any checklists either. Obviously we want the subtask assignees to be there. And then we've asked it to remap the subtask date. So hopefully next month, when you set the new date range, we should be in good shape. And then you always need to remember to save this off, right? It doesn't recognize that you've done the recurring task unless you hit save. So that's done. So now all this is set up. And then just to tag on, right, when you're coordinating this data topic, we already have an email template set up for this. So I'm just going to add myself here, and then here's this newsletter kickoff, and then I just highlighted this copy that'll change, which talks about the newsletter topic. This will all be the same. You could change it up, this date. I'll go in and adjust the template for that to make that highlighted so we don't have to worry about that. And I'll add a subject to that. But these these email templates are pretty useful because you can just go in and click to send. So all you need to do is go to send email as opposed to comments. It just allows you to toggle back and forth and then go here. The challenge, of course, is that if they oftentimes the email will get lost if it's just a reply to. So we need to just be checking on this periodically when the dates arise. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm just going to delete off all this content, and then that's basically it. So we've talked about doing the recurring task and then using email templates to send these automated these standard notifications. And again, the email templates work like any other template. The difference is that you can go in here and then manage templates or add an email template. And what I do is I like to just have the right person who needs to look at this have access to that email template, so that what we don't have is, someone logs in and then they see like a gazillion templates there for email. It gets confusing. So what we want to do is just make sure that we're focusing what we present to people in a very concentrated way to help them work more efficiently.